Q3. I am waiting for the Streamlabs StreamHatchet quarterly for hours watched versus hours streamed. But in the meantime, I've been getting into StreamHatchet's independent reports that they do on their own as well. I don't get the numbers I'm looking for from this one, but it's interesting to see what kind of trends are going on. Here's the Q2 streaming trends from Q2, where we can see the biggest creators on all the platforms. I might have to check some of these folks out, because in the case of YouTube, there's still some UI issues that keep me from discovering new streamers I want to watch. So, let's see who this Nobrew person is. Vegeta777, Jun Channel, Mixed Gaming, DJ Mario. And then there's, oh look, I have some folks I can go watch on Facebook. Might be a language thing too. I'm actually curious how many of these are US English, or if it's everybody in the world that's streaming on all these platforms. So, very interesting. But for Q3, what we have from StreamHatchet is something really fancy. Check out these 3D effects. This is the Google Docs answer to PowerPoint. Ha! Microsoft, take notice. This is being done through a web browser. Video game streaming trends report Q3 2020. Gonna throw in some commentary on some of these slides here. So as we see, streaming hours have increased dramatically year over year. It's on my Twitter, by the way. Link to this report is on my Twitter, twitter.com/MultimediaJay. So, streaming still increasing. It wasn't just a fluke because of the pandemic. It's still up there. And I think that as things drag on like this virtual stuff, doing stuff on the internet, and all of the infrastructure updates that are being made in order to support all of this, I think all of this is going to continue to become more mainstream and more accepted. Zoom meetings, I don't know about. Anyways, we can see here that even if there wasn't the pandemic, the technology probably still would have been a little more accepted this year. It's just more people were forced to notice it because of the lockdowns. Now, here's what I'm the most interested in. We're not going to go over every slide in the deck, but this is the big one right here. Hours watched, top Western streaming platforms. So, this is half of the equation. It doesn't tell me the hours streamed. Top gaming streaming platforms, 7.4 billion hours watched in Q3. YouTube gaming experienced the strongest growth with an increase of more than 150 million hours in Q3. Facebook gaming is on track to even bigger market shares after eclipsing 1 billion quarterly hours watched. In spite of securing partnerships with major influencers like Ninja and Shroud, Twitch decreased its quarterly hours by about 375 million. So, my question is, versus how many hours streamed? But actually, no, this doesn't help their ratio any. Twitch already has the worst ratio in the industry for hours streamed versus hours watched. So, if this 5.1 bill is now down to 4.7 bill, but more people are streaming, the problem has actually gotten worse. This is the Twitch branding and strong marketing coming back to bite them. People associate Twitch with gaming, they associate Twitch with streaming, so they want to do either or both. They come to Twitch, and they become more of the problem, where even mathematically, you can't get an audience on here. Never mind the inferior technology, never mind the team scrambling to do this, that, and the other, but being fundamentally behind the curve versus something like YouTube or Facebook or something. The problem is that the brand for Twitch is so strong that it's routinely a problem if you want to get into this. I view my Twitch involvement as an extension of my involvement on YouTube. Twitch is my sidecar. The end. My only goal is Twitch affiliate, 3 concurrent viewers, but I haven't gotten that in over 6 months of streaming. That should tell you something. So, in terms of being able to grow or put in the time and eventually grow, it's just not a thing on Twitch, and I don't see it getting any better. Still waiting for the report that tells me hours streamed in addition to the hours watched, but here we go. YouTube from 1.5 to 1.7, Twitch from 5.1 down to 4.7, Facebook from 97 to 102. Facebook, I really don't care about. I think fundamentally, because of the real names thing, Facebook is going to be held back. It's YouTube I'm looking at the most. YouTube has the technology, and the UI updates to become more competitive with Twitch are being worked on, and the feature parity is being pursued, sometimes aggressively. We mentioned the YouTube Creator Insider video where the text talked about the live experience and what they wanted, and there's things like raids and other stuff. Custom emojis got rolled out. There was a change, I forgot what it was, but there's a change for YouTube members, people that can have partnerships similar to subscriptions. There's a change to YouTube's answer to Twitch subscriptions, I think, that allowed for more custom emojis as well. So I'm curious if Twitch might up the affiliate max emojis to being closer to partners, or max emote slots to being closer to partners in order to compete with this. But YouTube is ramping things up. They just have a couple of things organizationally and UI-wise to fix, but there's not much stopping YouTube from eating up more of this market share. Facebook I'm not as involved with because I think they're held back by being what they are, but maybe it's time to go look at some more Facebook streams and see if they fixed some of the major security issues that I have that are the reason why I blow off Facebook gaming completely. Facebook Live, I think, has a future in terms of you stream a game to maybe your friends, your relatives, or private audience that is not with you at the moment, but a competitor to Twitch, nada. I don't see it working out unless Facebook makes some massive changes, perhaps even to what Facebook actually is. What were on the other slides? Top 10 games in streaming, League, Fortnite. Where's Among Us? Oh, here we go. Yeah, Among Us picked up steam recently, so a lot of these summer games are working their way up and stuff like that. And here's the top 5 female gaming influencers, of which Valkyrae, YouTube streamer, although mostly by contract for circa like 2020-ish or so. Valkyrae topping everything. A streamer on the red team is topping this chart. Eventually there'll be more of that. Just you watch. I'm most curious about Ginny, though. Here's someone doing basically the descendant of YouTube, of what made YouTube popular with the IRL streaming, and now she's traveling the world and she's basically doing what PewDiePie did. I think Ginny is eventually going to hit against the walls and the limits of Twitch. Ginny would be a good person where Twitch should back off on the exclusivity and let her double stream, if that's even possible. Whenever the tech catches up, I think she should start growing an audience on YouTube that would never watch Twitch. That'd be at some point, I think she's going to hit that wall to where the only way to continue growing is to look beyond Twitch. Because Twitch is very niche, has a culture of its own, and people think it's bigger than it is. When more people realize that it's not, that'll change things fundamentally. It's interesting to see her chasing after Pokimane, though. I think she will eclipse Pokimane. I think Pokimane has too many issues and too much baggage to stay where she is. Ginny and Pokimane, I expect to flip slots. Don't know about anybody else on this chart. What else was there? Top 10 gaming influencers worldwide, and now we see why there's a special chart just for women, because, well, gender and gender bias is what it is in our world. XQC, oh, Nick Merckx, Oren, Nobrew. Gotta check out this guy, whoever this is on YouTube, since I keep seeing the name, but I've never heard of them before. Again, YouTube and their UI for streaming. Tim the Tap Man up there, a little tired. And notice the what is this? Most watched this is hours watched. So top on this list is only 6.1 mil versus 41.5 for XQC. Holy crap. Of course, XQC is basically running himself into the ground at this point. It's just different seeing Asmongold at the bottom of the list. I'm used to him being way bigger than most of the other folks I watch, and now here we are with this going on. So, Summit's on here as well. Interesting. But, very interesting. What else is this? This is Dr. Disrespect and people changing platforms. Among Us is Eclipse Fall Guy, da-da-da. Check out the report, twitter.com/MultimediaJay. I have a link to it on there. It's also over on, of course, docs.google.com. But you can actually get to it from the Twitter, from StreamHatchet's Twitter. They have links to everything, and I retweeted that before the show. But here's the big one. On the hours watched side, we see the winds of change starting to blow. Twitch benefited immensely from the lockdowns, but they didn't really benefit because the hours watched, or hours streamed, went up along with the hours watched. And, assuming that the strong branding has done its thing, the problem's even worse now. But we'll see what happens when the Streamlabs StreamHatchet report collab, if there is one, comes out, and I get the other side of the story, and I can check ratios and all that other stuff. Is it still in development? Who knows? I certainly don't. But that, as they say, is that. with that. Social medias, youtube.com/MultimediaJay, twitter.com/MultimediaJay, twitch.tv/MultimediaJay, and multimediajay.wordpress.com. I have no less than 2 YouTube videos to work on, never mind the behind the scenes stream I now want to do to work on my channel, get the descriptions on the playlists out of there so things look cleaner on screen, and all kinds of other stylistic moves and changes that I want to make to everything that I do. Too much stuff to do, not enough time. Suppose it's better than the alternative, though. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.
257. MultimediaJay Radio Style.